again, I did a wardrobe change. So for me, it's the same day. For you, it's probably 1 to 2 months from when you last saw me, but that's okay because I have more than enough spinning and knitting projects to keep both of us occupied. So, welcome back. I am still B. I am still the hostess of the Spinning Knitter podcast, and I am still coming to you from the wild north that is still cold outside. You can't see what I'm gesturing to, but it is gray, it is overcast, but it is green, and there is no snow on the ground. At least, there's no snow until later this week, whereupon we're projected to get more snow. Surprise! So it is not uncommon for where I live to get snow up until June. Side note, we have a very high elevation and it shows. We also get a lot of cloud coverage, which I don't particularly mind, but it would not be good for someone with seasonal depression, I would say, to live here. I happen to be not a seasonal person. I like winter. Winter is my jam. I love fall. And summer and I occasionally get along, but only if I'm on a beach with a great deal of wind and an umbrella. I do love summer in terms of I love the beach. I have a favorite beach that is my place to be. It is my happy space that I get to go to once a year. I grew up going there. But I don't know if you can see this on camera, but I'm a ginger. And so sunlight likes me a little too much. It loves me so much it hurts. And right now, because we're still in winter, all my freckles have gone away. But come summer, I'm gonna get these 14 happy freckles right across the bridge of my nose. And it's very annoying to me. But it's okay, because I love myself just the way that I am, freckles and all. I just wish that the sun didn't love me so much. Anyway, let's start off with a little bit of reading. So, this is the other book that I have been reading. See if you can see this. So, this is Augustine's Confessions, translated by Sarah Rudin. Augustine lived very early on, and I have been away from Roman and Greek authors for a while. I just haven't had the brain space to read any of them. And so I thought I would get back into it with someone who was passionate and straightforward and an interesting individual. So I picked up this copy of Confessions in a local bookstore, relatively local, it was an hour away. Nothing is close here. If you want something, you gotta drive for it. It's like if you grew up in Montana or the Dakotas or Wyoming, anywhere where you have to drive places, you know what I'm talking about. It takes you a good 45 minutes to get to the nearest place. That's where we live, in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, I thought I would get back to my Greeks and my Romans with Augustine because he's interesting. And so I picked up this copy, and I didn't know much about Sarah Rudin. But after reading the intro, I absolutely adore and appreciate her outlook on translating. So one of my, I guess you could call it a pet peeve, but it's more than a pet peeve. One of the things that I find it very difficult to handle is when anyone, and I mean anyone, takes real life people out of their era or out of their time period and reinterprets or judges them based off of current society and cultural values or standards. It just pulls them out of their historical context and judges them morally and ethically for their decisions and behaviors. That is something that irks me to no extent, because people that were alive in 200 AD were not held to the same set of principles, beliefs, and standards by their culture and their society that you and I are. They were held to the ethics, the morals, the beliefs, and the standards of their culture and their society. And that was 1800 years ago. I personally do not believe humanity changes that much. I think people are still people. We still have murder, we still have greed, we still have avarice, we still have all the things that make humans human today. Humanity, to me, still has the same faults, still has the same failings, and still has the same things that make them rise above and conquer and learn and grow that they did almost 2,000 years ago. So I appreciate translators like Sarah Rudin, who believe in context and also believe in not censoring the person that they're translating. One of the things, if you pick this book up, one of the things that she talks about is that she felt, based off of her knowledge of Latin and Greek, and she is a scholar, that this woman is not I would like to sit down with her and have a cup of coffee and talk with her, but she is not a lightweight in terms of scholarship. She has a Latin and a Greek background, and she uses them. And one of the things that she says is through the various readings that she has done of Augustine in particular, the English translations of Augustine, she feels that he has been censored and made to speak, regardless of when it was translated, in a politically correct style for whenever it was translated. And she doesn't believe in doing that. She believes that if Augustine said that the cows were white and black, that he meant the cows were white and black. Not that he meant the cows were a little bit gray and a little bit darker gray, but white and black. And so she has been very, very straightforward in saying that she is not going to take anything that Augustine has written and sugarcoat it. Obviously, he was a product of his time, both as a philosopher and as a teacher and as a writer. The Greek influence is very heavy when you read it. His style of writing, it's very apparent that he read Homer and, what's his butt? He read a lot of the ancient Greek writers. It's very apparent that he grew up with a background of that in teaching. I think he was born and raised in North Africa. And he was in a very prestigious family, very rich family as well, and grew up in a mixed household. Father was pagan, mother was Christian. So he has a very interesting perspective on life. And I believe he was posted in Imperial Rome somewhere. I want to say in Italy, in Milan. It's been a while since I read anything biographical on him. But this is a no-holds-barred book that she didn't make any concession. Rudin didn't make any concession when translating this towards any sort of theology or ritual or societal standards that we have today. And it is brutal reading this, his assessment of humanity and the way humanity grows, and the faults and failings of humanity. It is very stark and very eye-opening, and he talks about his life, and he censors himself and his society morally and ethically in a way that is literally raking them over the coals. But it's a fascinating read. So if you like books on humanity that have, you know, ethics, morals, theology, different perspectives on the Roman and Greek worlds and methods of teaching at the time, this is a book I would highly recommend. It's going to be very eye-opening for you. And engaging. This book is engaging. Okay, now that I'm done rambling about my book that I'm enjoying so much, let us move on to spinning. So I did teasers of this with you on Instagram, and pretty pictures and all sorts of fun stuff. So let me show you in person what this actually looks like. So this is a little, probably a little washed out on screen. But this is Petals by the gorgeously lovely Emily of Wolfiend. I like Emily. She just tickles me pink. Petals, pink, literally. So this is a merino, bamboo, and tweed blend that is beautiful, fluffy, light, soft, and squishy. And I got 2 braids of this gorgeousness. Let me share with you the other side, because the other side of the braid looks very different. So it is a, let's see if it'll pick it up correctly. Oh, that's kind of it. It's not as vibrant as it is in real life. The way that you're looking at it, it's a little too dark. So it has like these mushroomy browns, fawn browns, and this rose petal pink that just melds beautifully together. And you can see the little tweedy bits. Those are not neps. There is nothing wrong with this fiber. It's just gorgeousness. So I have been spinning this up on my Enid Ashcrofts that I got. You probably have seen the picture of these, but I filled all 3 of these spindles, all 3 of these gorgeous spindles in less than 36 hours. And I filled them, as you can see, all the way up to their tips, except for the fat one. It really just got a little too heavy for me to spin. But these are just full of wonderful goodness. So this is a full braid of fiber. This is 4 ounces of fiber spun onto 3 spindles. And I have every intention of doing the same with the second braid. So with the second braid, this is going to be a little awkward. I am going to use these 3 spindles of Enid's. See if you can see them really well. So I've got a bead spindle and 2 Tibetans, and I am going to hopefully fit another 4 ounces of fiber onto these spindles. Isn't that nice? That's nice. So that is what I am working on. This is fun. This yarn is slightly slubby because of the texture of the yarn, but overall the yarn itself is consistent. So I am looking for like a thick, dense 2-ply that's gonna make a very warm, cozy shawl. It will probably be either a Grethel Munson shawl or a 52 Weeks of Shawls by Len. I don't know, I haven't really researched it yet. I just know, I know what yarn I want, and I will make something out of it. I also have another new spindle from Enid. Isn't it pretty? This is, let me get this right, Red Heart and Zebrano, and it is gorgeous. Look at that. Look at it. It's gorgeous. It's not showing as red as it should, but it is like red, 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 red. It's beautiful. Okay, I know I'm flying through stuff, but I don't think my battery is going to last very long. So I got to show you all the things right now. So I'm also working on a second Emily spin, and I am working on this braid of Wildlings. It's not showing true. Well, it's a little bit brighter blue than that and a little less purpley. But this is 23 count micron merino and tussa silk. It's a 70-30 blend. And this is my thickest spin that I have going on. Let's see if you can see the colors. This is my thickest spin that I have going on. Ooh, those are closer to real life. Not as vibrant, but close. This is the thickest spin, and this has been a challenge for me. But check this out. I already have 2 full cups worth of single spun. Woo woo. So this is Candace. Is it Fiberology? I will link her below. But Candace, hello. Pretty cutie. Candace is one of my favorite people on Instagram to follow. She is not only a sweetheart, but she is an amazing spinner. And I just enjoy conversing with her so much. She has great questions and she makes me use my brain, and I appreciate that. She's such a sweetheart. She also has a shop and she hand dyes fiber beautifully. And I do mean beautifully. But she had this trick where she pulled the cop straight off of the drop spindle and onto a knitting needle so that it would be ready for plying. This is ingenious, Candace. Like, ingenious. So I'm trying it. I'm gonna see how this goes. Yeah, I love this. Thank you for sharing it because that was so helpful. So I've been spinning this up on some of my heavier spindles. I have been allowed to use spindles that are at 1 ounce and just over, but I can't use any of my super heavy spindles. In fact, I destashed a lot of them, sadly, because I was not allowed to use them. But something really cool happened, and that is Bill from Vermont Spindles. I was able to get some of his spindles. And to me, that's awesome because Bill, when I first heard about his spindles, he put his shop on hold for a little bit and I wasn't able to get any of his spindles to try. You're being annoying. Please go away. If you want to be good, you can come back. So, Bill is in Vermont and his shop is Vermont Spindles. You may have heard of him if you follow Lisa Baker's podcast, The Soulful Spinner. She is freaking amazing. Go watch her stuff. She has so much information. She is so nice and talented, and she's got a zippy sense of humor, and I really enjoy that. But he has come back and redesigned a lot of how he does things, and I'm so happy he's back in practice because I got to purchase a couple of his spindles. I think by the end of the year I'll probably end up with way too many, like probably 8 of his spindles, but I don't care. So this is the one I'm using to spin up my wildlings, or the first 3 cups worth of wildling. This is a Blaze spindle. I take that back. This is an Ulta design spindle, which means it's got a thicker, deeper rim. See if you can see this. Thicker, deeper rim, but it only weighs 1.13 ounces. And it is stunning. This was my first spindle from him. And then I loved it so much I got more. Surprise. So I also have another Ulta, and this is in Myrtle. Look at this sucker. Isn't it just freaking stunningly gorgeous? I have envied, and envy is a mean word kind of, but I have literally envied and coveted Lisa's spindles from Bill because I've been watching her spin on them for years and I have not gotten one. And then he came back and like, look at these. Look at this. This is just stunning. And it is literally at 1 ounce. So that means I can spin on it. So I'm going to. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Lisa is like my soul sister when it comes to actual spindles, like drop spindles. She has Enid, she has Liz, she has Bill. Like, I don't know which one of us has more, but I'm pretty sure we are probably 2 of Liz's biggest fans. when it comes to her spindles. Side note, how many of Liz's spindles do y'all have? Because I would like you to just send me a number, and I want to see. I'll just send you a message back. Yes, I have more, or no, I have less. Because I have way too many of them. But they're so gorgeous, I can't help it. Even after having to de-stash Spindles, her spindles are so gorgeous. Liz's spindles are like walking into a house where everything is intricately carved and put together. And then like walking into an Enid Ashcroft house would be like everything is glowing and polished and harmonious together. And then Bill's spindles, these spindles that he has, they're like walking into one of those beautiful barns, rustic barns that's been renovated and brought back into its glory but kept its patina. That's what his spindles remind me of. So here's two more that I've been working with. This is a coffee wood, and he was so sweet about this. He made me this because I was trying to get one that was at or under an ounce. And then this one is Peruvian walnut, and they are gorgeous. I don't know if you'll be able to see just how gorgeous they are, but they are gorgeous. And the blaze is a little bit thinner. It's the same style as almost the same style as the Ulta on the inside. So the Ulta has, let's see if it'll show this real well. The Ulta has 3 bumps in the middle, and the blaze has 2. So the blaze is thinner and lighter weight and not as deep, but they're all rim weighted, which means they spin for freaking ever. And I do mean for freaking ever. They all go down to the ground with a straight spin, no wobble, and they keep spinning once they hit the ground. Like Liz and Enid are the only other 2 spindle makers that I have had that happen with a drop spindle. So Bill has my service for the rest of his life, or my service. Bill has my checkbook for the rest of his life because they're fantastic. And on them are these gorgeous Hikari handmade roll eggs, which are hand pulled by her. They're gorgeous. They're merino, and I'm spinning them up. It's the colorway Seascapes, I believe. Hikari does things in small batches, and it's hard to catch her update because just like Enid, everything sells out like that. But so worth it. If you get the chance to spin with her roll eggs, so worth it. So, in regards to that, in my Hikari handmade bag, because gorgeousness happens, I have this Enid Ashcroft in Corellian that I have been spinning up another test spin for another sweater. Surprise! I don't know if I can tell you everything all at once because I'm still experimenting, but what you need to know is the fiber that's on it comes from Patricia of BZB Fibers, which is so cute. That's just such a cute name. And she is so accommodating and customer service oriented because I ordered way too much fiber from her. So ta-da, you're looking at like 8 pounds of fiber. 8 pounds, hold on. 1, 2. Sorry, you're looking at like 3.5 pounds of fiber right here that she put together for me after I bugged her. Thank you, Patricia. And this fiber blend is amazing. So check this out. This is BFL, silk, and flax. Y'all. Okay. So remember how I told you like merino, silk, flax was my jam? Like that was one of my absolute favorites to spin. But that my overall, like my top favorite fiber, it's always in the top 3 no matter when I've been spinning or when I spin something, is BFL. This is perfection. This is literal perfection. It is a gorgeous natural color. It looks like dirty dishwater blonde, but it is so gorgeous. And it spins up into just luscious masterpiece. So this is the 2-ply I came up with. This is very crisp, like incredibly crisp, and it looks and feels overspun like this, but you put it into a swatch. So I've got two swatches here. You put it into a swatch like this, and this stuff is amazing. So this is the way I normally spin, and this is 2-ply. And I loved it. It was soft, but it just didn't work for me, and it pilled a little bit because it wasn't spun just right. But this little guy, oh my gosh. This is soft without pilling, sturdy without being scratchy, and is just perfect. So I have another sweater spin ready and available to get going, and no sweater in mind. Isn't that sad? But don't worry, I'll figure something out in the future. I'm not telling you a lot about that one because I want to sample a little bit more and I want to figure stuff out, and then we'll go like deep dive into this fiber, into all the possibilities. So last but not least, because it looks like I have 3 minutes before my battery runs out, dun 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 dun, I want to share with you what is in my, I think it's pronounced Wilde Seele, but I could be wrong. It could just be Wild Seal. It looks like Wild Sea in German. That's all I'm saying. But it's Sigrid. Either way, it's Sigrid. She is a midwife, and she crafts, she dyes, she makes these bags. Like, I mean, the woman's freaking so well-rounded. Anyway, it's a gorgeous bag. Good luck getting your hands on one because they sell it like nobody's business. So I am, hello kitty, once again, designing my own sock because I wanted to. It is currently sitting on my, a needle runs through it sock blocker, and I have no clue what the name of this fiber is, so please don't ask me. I know it's merino. I know that this has been in my stash for about 10 years, and it is like one of my favorite skeins of yarn, and I couldn't find the pattern that I wanted to knit it up in. So I made my own now. So this is what I've got. I wanted something that looked like spring, but was simple and easy to follow. So what I did, look at that. Look at those colors. Aren't they pretty? So what I did before my camera shuts off is I put a shepherd's hook stitch marker on it, progress keeper, which I'll insert a picture of. And I pulled out my trusty Hitomi Shida 250 Japanese knitting stitches and found a pattern that I liked, reverse engineered it, and started to knit it. If you would like to know what the pattern number is, I will gladly give it to you. Just DM me, preferably on IG, Instagram, because I tend to forget, you know, with YouTube a little bit. I'm really bad about checking for comments, but I love it when there are comments on there. They just make me happy. Like Hillary's comments and all the other ladies. Let's see if it'll let me finish recording this way. Hi, people. So, literally, I think her name is Sonia, but it might be Marinwin. I think that's just her handle on YouTube. Either way, those two have been wonderful, and all the other commenters, and I just absolutely love getting the comments. I do. It makes my day to really find people that I connect with, because I don't have that in my area. I don't have a lot of crafters, and I don't have a lot of people that are interested in the same things that I am. So thank you for those who comment. Really appreciate you. But anyway, message me below if you want the numbers for Hitomi Shida's pattern, and I will tell you what I did, because I have no intention of becoming a sock designer. I don't think I have the brain space to be a sock designer. I think I just don't. So if you are interested, let me know below or on Instagram. Either way. And thank you for joining me 2 months from now / today. Really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And I hope you are having a wonderful beginning to your spring or end of your winter, whichever one it is for you. And if you need something, one more thing to be happy, here's a kitty. A very cute kitty. Very annoying, but super cute. Bye, guys.